What's up, everybody? Joe White here, and today Uncle Dave strikes again. I know that seems like that's all I've been talking about lately, but when a man is this old and senile, and I think he's getting a touch of the Alzheimer's, folks, I really think Uncle Dave's starting to lose it. Brian Alvarez is just, he's got that death clock going. You know how they used to have the wrestler death clock? Now they got the Dave Meltzer death clock. Brian Alvarez is keeping track of it. He's got a big death clock around his neck like Flavor Flav going, I can't wait. I fucking can't wait for this old man to die. I'm sick and tired of arguing with him. I'm sick and tired of rolling my eyes at him. I'm sick and tired of this guy just being senile and stupid. But here's Dave Meltzer giving his thoughts on, they have this tournament going on about, for John Cena's last opponent. The last time is now tournament. And it's a good concept. I like it. I like the fact that we don't know who's going to be in it until they draw the names each week. We don't know the bracketing until the second round. So it leaves it as a bit of a mystery, and it gives you a reason to tune in each week, especially with the mystery opponent thing. But here's Dave and them talking about how John Cena should not lose his last match. And then I'm going to come back and give my thoughts on this. Here we go.
What is Gunther? Like, obviously, he can always talk till the end of time that he retired John Cena and whatever. But the guy is already over. He's a multi-time champion. You're just going to make people sad. People are sad enough that John Cena's retiring. You don't have to beat him on top of that. Like, you're not going to ruin Gunther's career. You're not going to kill the business. Like, all you got to do is have people go home happy. Just like what happened with Sting.
They can still, that's true. But he can lose and they can still go home happy. That's been done.
They will be happier if he wins. They will be happier if he wins.
They will be happier if he wins. True. Yes. But the thing is it's when it comes to retirement match, it's not the win and the loss. It's the post match. People want to see the post match. Gunther can go in there and go, he could lose. He absolutely could lose. He could also use it and say, I beat Bill Goldberg and John Cena on their way out, and use that as a calling card, just like Brock Lesnar used that Undertaker win. People would have been happier had the Undertaker won. And I'm not even saying that Lesnar necessarily should have won, but that was the mentality behind it. So that one could go either way. But again, like when it comes to a retirement thing, like Ric Flair, when he retired, yeah, if he had beaten Shawn, would they have been happier? Probably. It doesn't matter.
I was at that show. People were miserable. Like, they didn't want to see Ric Flair lose that match. Obviously the stipulation he had to lose.
He had to lose.
But people still were like, whatever.
No.
People were miserable when Shawn lost to The Undertaker. People were miserable. I was at that show as well. It was like a morgue leaving that show. Like, nobody was, it was just like everyone silently walking out of the building. They were miserable.
Well, I don't know. Everyone tries to say it was like one of the greatest matches of all time.
Well, it was a great match, but people were miserable when it was over. People were miserable when the Undertaker streak was broken. That did help Brock Lesnar, though.
They were stunned. They were stunned in silence. But, in wrestling, you do have to put heels over. You have to do it. If you don't ever put heels over, you're going to never have...
Yeah, but you know what? They put plenty heels over a lot. I don't think we have to worry about that.
I don't think it really... I don't think it matters that much, because at the end of the day, the show, whatever they do is fine, because... it's the end of the show that matters, and the end of the show is the post-match. The post-match matters. Who wins and loses that match? It's not that, people are there to see the retirement. They're not there to see a wrestling match. And if you give them a good retirement celebration, they're going to remember that a lot more than they're going to remember the match, because perhaps Gunther, the one thing with Gunther is that he probably can give him a really hell of a match. And that is a good thing, let him have his last match be something more than just today's paint-by-numbers match, which was fine and good and everything, but that's what it was. It's not a memorable match. It was just there. With Gunther, he can do a hell of a match, if that's what they If that's what they deem they want, and it's what he deems he wants, they could do it because Gunther's, Gunther's fantastic.
So, yes, I agree with them that the Baron Corbin Kurt Angle situation should have taught them a lesson. However, I don't see the significance, and I agree with Brian on this. I don't really see the significance of Gunther winning the last match of John Cena. I don't see the significance. Gunther is already over. He's already made his bones. However, I do not agree with Alvarez in the sense that Cena should not lose. I hate to sound like McMahon here, but there's a time-honored tradition in the wrestling business that when you go out on your back. You put somebody over. You elevate a person. You do the honors, as they say. And Cena should know above all that him losing this retirement match, we all expect him to lose. The man's retiring, for crying out loud. This mindset of fans are going to be miserable. Fans are going to be more happy. Fans are going to be miserable if he loses. I was there at WrestleMania, and they were miserable when Undertaker lost. No, they were shocked and appalled that they actually pulled the trigger because we knew it was going to happen one day. That was the whole point of the streak, is who's going to break it. That's the point of any streak. Who's going to be the one to break it? The Ric Flair retirement thing. We knew that it was Ric Flair's time to go at that time, the first time he retired. So, no, fans were not miserable afterwards. They may have been, your people may have been miserable. The people you were there with may have been miserable. But I was not miserable. I thought it was a damn good match when Flair retired with Shawn. Now, should it have been somebody younger? Maybe, but in storyline sense, again, we tell stories because people just don't want to see good matches. As Dave says, oh, he'll give you a hell of a match, but the match is not the story. The post matches. No, the match is a part of the story. It's all connected, Dave. It's all connected. This coming from the man who's just like always about, agreeing with Tony Khan, and he's got Tony Khan calling him Mr. Tony Khan, Mr. People just want to see good matches. Now all of a sudden, no, that ain't the case. No, it ain't about the match. Yes, it is. It's about all of it. It's about the complete package. It's about the whole show. Cena coming out there and saying that I want to put NXT talent on this show tells you it's about the entire show. The entire show is going to have an ebb and flow to it. It's going to be a good show, I think. But this notion of people were miserable when Shawn retired. People were miserable when this person retired. No, they weren't. You don't always have to send them home with a happy fucking segment. The end of an era match, when Shawn, came back a referee, that kind of got a little bit of redemption for the retirement angle. It just, the whole thing of people are going to be miserable makes no sense. I am not going to be miserable when this is all said and done if Cena loses. I'm not. Because it makes every sense for him to lose. And it makes every sense for him to put over somebody young. Now, if I were booking this tournament, I would not have Gunther versus Cena in that last match. No. I would have, Gunther lose, maybe by countout or DQ to Javon Evans. He can't put the young OG down. This young kid is going up against Gunther. He's getting the shit chopped out of him. He's getting the crap kicked out of him. But the young OG just will not die. And all of a sudden it leads to Gunther maybe using a weapon, getting frustrated, getting counted out. Something that makes Gunther lose. Gunther's not losing anything by it. Yes, I know he's returning from an injury or whatever. He's taken time off. He's been gone since August at SummerSlam. But he doesn't lose anything. Now here you go with the young OG, Javon Evans. Here's a guy who fans have been wanting to see get that push. Brian Alvarez himself has talked about time and time again how in NXT they build him up, knock him back down. Build him up, knock him back down. And I will agree with that. Here's a guy who the button should have been pressed on, the trigger should have been pulled, whatever analogy you want to use, should have been done a long time ago. Now, you have him advancing in the tournament, and it comes down to him. It comes down to him. Here's another kid who's tough as nails. He's going to fight another one out. And he's going to go on to face John Cena. He's going to have a hell of a tournament. He's going to, you don't think this guy's going to be able to win anything to people he's going up against. Excuse me. But then he's going to somehow get through it. He's going to be bouncy. He's the young OG. And who better to face John Cena than the young OG? And it's John Cena's last match. And John Cena's going to put him over clean in the middle of the ring. And it's going to make Javon Evans a star. It's going to make Javon Evans a star. Now, I have said that the only way that he should not be putting anybody over, and the only way that maybe John Cena should lose, he should still lose. But the only way John Cena should not face somebody new is if it's Edge. I don't think it's going to be Edge because of this whole tournament thing. There's no way AEW is going to give them Edge for 2 or 3 matches like this. But that's the only way it would happen. That John Cena should not put anybody new over. Sheamus does not need this. Rusev does not need this. The Miz does not need this. Big deal. The Miz is going to go out there and go, I retired John Cena. Guess what, dude? It's not going to get you any more over. It's not going to get you any more over. The only way that this works is if it's Edge who loses in the who wins, who retires John Cena, and he could go back to AEW and say, I retired their champion. I retired John Cena. Works out for everybody. Or it's got to be a young guy from NXT. That's it. But now we get to the actual tournament itself and the bracketing, or lack thereof. These idiots don't realize there's a stark difference between Tony Khan going, yeah, I have the brackets ready, and then announcing them, last minute. And there's a big difference in what Tony Khan did with that tournament that I talked about in another video a few weeks back, or a week or so back. And there's a big difference in that and a tournament where the preliminary matches are not drawn until the week before they happen. You can't, it's not like the King of the Ring where you have King of the Ring qualifiers leading up to it and yada, yada, yada. It's a random draw tournament. You don't know. And this whole let's let them talk about this, because this is interesting. Dave tells another lie here.
So then we had the Rusev-Damian Priest tournament match, and Damian Priest has a bad eye after Aleister attacked him on SmackDown. So the answer to talk about how he has blurred vision. I'm like, how the hell did this guy get cleared? So he can't see a damn thing. He's blind.
The whole match was all about him not being able to see.
Rusev keeps, going after the bad eye and hitting him on the bad eye side, and finally he hits his kick out of nowhere and pins him. And they are determined to get this Rusev over. And if we're doing the Is Rusev Over tracker, the answer currently is still no.
Yeah, well, this is just a tournament, so you have to have, depending on where they're going, and if the bracketing, and they don't
the bracketing, you say?
If they have a bracketing in the way that a normal bracketing would be, where, then, the idea is probably more important that it was Rusev against Sheamus is what they're looking for, rather than Sheamus against Priest. So, because that, then you got the babyface heel dynamic. So, But I don't even know that that's the bracket, but they did wrestle each other.
Yeah, let's talk about this fucking bracket here. It doesn't exist, okay? So here is what we know about the tournament at this point, okay? Mm-hmm. We know that Rusev and Sheamus have advanced to the quarterfinals, but we have no idea if they're wrestling each other, if they're wrestling somebody else.
Yeah.
If they're on this side of the bracket or the other, we do not know.
We do know that. We do know that because we know that there is a Raw side bracket and a SmackDown side bracket, and they're on the Raw side bracket. So we do know that much.
I'll take your word for it.
No, they've already said that.
Well, we know there are matches on Raw and SmackDown, but
they've said that there's a Raw bracket and there's a SmackDown bracket.
I figured that just meant there are matches on Raw and matches on SmackDown. I don't know if that actually goes up in the bracket when it's done because we don't have a bracket.
That's what they've already said that
we've got
there's the Raw side and there's the SmackDown side. Now there would in theory there would be 16-man tournament, right? So it would be 4 matches. So there's still so what would happen is it would be the Sheamus and Rusev could wrestle possibly against one of the people who wins next week on Raw, which is Mystery Dude against what was those 2 matches?
Well, for SmackDown we have The Miz versus...
for the Raw. For
Hold
Raw,
on a second. Let me just get through this. This Friday, we got The Miz versus Jey Uso and LA Knight versus someone he won't tell us who it is.
Yeah,
a mystery opponent. A mystery opponent in a tournament with no brackets. Then on Raw, we got Gunther versus Javon Evans, an NXT guy who was apparently in the Raw bracket. And then Solo Sikoa versus someone who he's not going to tell us. A second mystery name in a tournament with no brackets.
Well, we know Gunther's going to win, and so probably Solo Sikoa is going to lose to the mystery guy.
Okay.
And the mystery guy would be in the... that doesn't necessarily... They wrestle each other. They could do Gunther against Sheamus. Because again, they haven't set a bracket. So we'll see.
And then on Friday, November 21st on SmackDown, we have 2 matches, and we do not know who is in them. So that's the tournament at this point.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys are making your brackets at home.
So there's there's going to be a Raw side and a SmackDown side. They've never said that, Dave. They've never said that. The only thing that they've said is people from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and maybe some that don't even work here. That's the only thing they've said. They have never, ever came out and said there's a Raw bracket and a SmackDown bracket. If that's the case, where do the NXT guys fit in? If that's the case, where do the guys who, quote, maybe don't even work here come in? Which, if it's not Edge, I don't see them bringing in anybody that they don't work, that, doesn't work there. But anyway. They've never, ever, ever came out and said there's a Raw side and a SmackDown side. The brand split is in effect, but it's a very, very loose brand split. You got guys that come over all the time and flip-flop brands, and nobody bats an eyelash at it because it's entertaining what they do with it. So this whole notion of the Raw side and SmackDown side, nobody gives it. No, they've never said it. And the whole idea of let's talk about this fucking bracket. There is no fucking bracket. There is a bracket, but you gotta wait till the first round matches are done. The bracketing will start with the semifinals. The bracketing will start when you get down to the last 4 matches. Or six matches, I should say. When you get from 16 down to 8, that's when the bracket starts. And this, I hope you're filling out your brackets at home. It's fucking stupid, dude. You're a fucking idiot, Alvarez. Both of you and Uncle Dave. You know what I hope happens? I hope that when Dave does finally kick the bucket and maybe passes the thing on to you, I hope you just fold it and go away. Because it's clear by the tone of your voice and the way you do these radio shows every week that you just don't want to do this anymore. You just don't want to do this anymore. Not to this extent, anyways. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments below. I'm enjoying the little tournament so far that they're putting on. I think it's fascinating. It's good booking. It's good storytelling. It's a good way to get ratings and keep you engaged every week. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. We'll see you down the road.
Run, you end up back where you were, just with a lower price. So anyway,